Hello, everyone. I'm Val Evans. Thanks for joining me tonight. I am talking about the astrology, and we're going to pull some tarot cards tonight. There's a lot going on between the US, Russia, and Europe. And a lot of people want to know what's happening. What's the short term prediction? What's the longer term prediction? So I've got that for you. I'm just in shock at the latest news. President Trump made an announcement. So I'm going to get into that in 1 second. First of all, I'm just going to quickly plug my two books, The Secret Career Code and Forensic Astrology 101 on Amazon. And if you're interested in looking at aspects of your job, your coworkers, your boss, what they're really thinking, what the trajectory of your career is, short term and long term, I look at a ton of solar return charts for people in the news, historical figures, people who have had jobs and have had crazy, crazy careers. Definitely check that out. It'll help you make your own predictions. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. GMT, I'm going to be looking at Princess Catherine's solar return chart, and we're going to make some more predictions. I'm going to quickly look at Zelensky's solar return. We did this last time, and just like clockwork, it's pretty amazing what happens. This is Zelensky's solar return. And just real quick, as a confirmation of how solar returns can be so predictive, the last time we talked about Zelensky, we were looking at how his birthday, his new solar return chart started January 25th. And so the second house is what really we're in right now for him, because the second house starts February 25th, goes to March 25th. So this is a major, major month for him. Look at that opposition there. Can't take your eye off of it. Right there, Jupiter in Gemini. So we know a Gemini, don't we? Probably President Trump. And there is actually a T square here with Saturn and Venus. This is a cut. And sure enough, Trump just 3 hours ago announced a halt of aid, of US aid. So I'll just read that for a second. President Donald Trump, this is from Newsweek, has ordered a pause on all military aid to Ukraine following a disastrous and remarkable meeting last week with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenskyy at the White House. A senior Defense Department official who spoke anonymously about internal discussions told Bloomberg that the aid freeze will remain in place until Trump determines that Ukrainian leaders are making a genuine effort towards peace. A White House official confirmed the pause in aid, telling PBS in a statement, President Trump has been clear that he is focused on peace. We need our partners to be committed to that goal as well. We are pausing and reviewing our aid to ensure that it is contributing to a solution. Meanwhile, billions just went to Israel. So definitely some red lights and some green lights right now when it comes to U.S. funding. Zelensky's White House visit last week came as he was working to shore up American support for Ukraine as it fends off Russian President Putin's unprovoked military invasion. That whole thing was off the charts, no pun intended. Never have I ever or thought I'd ever see anything like that happen. Me neither. And yeah, it was nuts. It was totally nuts. Shauna, nice to see you. And so I am looking at Zelensky's solar return. So we're in that. Anytime you have a T square with part of fortune there, it means short-term lack of success. And it's also very famous. Notice that the moon is at 8 degrees, which is revenge. You could also say that Sagittarius is the US. So no US aid for Zelensky at the moment. But we're moving on into, let's see, this would be February 25th. So you're going to look at each house as a month. And then this is going to be March 25th. So at first we had Pluto here, and it was trining the Gemini, the large Gemini, because of Jupiter. So it seemed like everything was hunky dory. And then once we moved in here a little bit, I'm not sure if Jupiter's activated yet. I guess it just did. It's March 3rd. And then boom, that opposition for the funding. So not good at the moment, but doesn't seem to matter too much, and I'll tell you why. I mean, it matters because there is a complete stop. Pluto represents Zelensky's second house, so it's down here, but you can sure see, um, that's weird. There's a trine still to Gemini, so it may open back up somehow, or there might be something there's like an open door somehow where they're still getting something. It looks like this could be it because of Aquarius, they could still be getting some type of help with the satellites. It doesn't look like it's totally shut off yet. Mhm. So you did, Shauna. You are a long time subscriber and member, so I I thought, "Why not? Shauna's great." And Toy, I wanted to give you one too, but I couldn't figure out what your address was, so I'll give you one as well. Gotta get the veterans in on this, and we don't really get too many trolls, so you're off the hook for any responsibility. So anyway, we're going to go now to Putin's 2024 solar return. Oh boy. So it started last October 7th. And we've got quite a chart here. We've got some T squares. We've got some pretty angry people here, but we also have some danger as well. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see. Okay. So right now, what we would do is count. So you can do that with your solar return chart. Just start on your birthday month, the ascendant, October 7th, November 7th, December, January, February, and this goes till March 7th. So he's still in the fifth house here. Sometimes that can show an emphasis on your family. So that's one thing that I'm seeing here with Putin is that you don't really know what's going on, but his personal life is also taking a toll here too. So this is a big month for his personal life. And I also noticed that what started the month was that, and this is the last show that I did, this is a lot of Leo here. So lots of Trump um, conversations help. And so now we're getting into this incredible month. This starts March 7th. Holy God. All right, there it is. We have so much. Libra, which is diplomats and politicians. We've got groups and groups and groups, and they are dirty politicians, which is kind of weird. And so I don't know if this has to do with dirty politicians on his side or if it's in Europe. I mean, there definitely are corrupt people in Europe as well, where it's like a big, big clash. And we also want to look at the fact that Mercury right here is in play right now. It's been in play for a little while because of Virgo. At the moment, it's activating until we get to March, give or take 7th, which would be the day that his birthday is. And what is Mercury? Mercury is a thief. It's also a listening device. And holy moly, that is in the middle of all of these politicians. So it seems like Putin is able to listen in. And how is he able to listen in? Well, we got that big Gemini there. Remember who that is? So I think there could be some kind of transmission of who said what. There's like, let me just tell you what they said and how they really feel about you. So Putin's getting some good info here, and they are pushing back like crazy because of that red triangle. Ouch. It goes to the third house of communication, so nobody wants to talk to each other. Not just Putin, but Putin doesn't want to talk to them either. So there does seem to be a bridge there, but check this out. So that starts March 7th. And yeah, this is activating right now. We've got two big squares, T squares, and it goes to Pluto here. So this is off the chart. I think this could be murder because of Chiron here. So this is groups and groups and groups of either murderers or murder. When will this come in? Well, it could have already come in because Virgo is activated, but it'll most definitely start coming in once Libra is in the mix, and that's in a sixth house. So, what could this mean? I mean, we are talking about so much pain, so many wounds. And so this tells me that there is probably going to be some big conflict coming up between March 7th and April 7th. This is a whopper. It really is. And it is because Black Moon Lilith is in with all of this. Uh, it is just plain evil. Now, does it mean that maybe it's Putin that's doing it? Maybe, but it also shows that these people also want to take him out, Putin. So there could be both sides. This could be, it could be Europe. It really could be Europe, or they are the Europeans, the heads of state are kind of giving the green light to do something. And it sure looks like it's all out in the public for everyone to see with that Pluto there. The other thing, too, is remember how Putin is not averse to hurting young children. He just takes them all out. And Mercury is little kids. So that's the one thing that I'm kind of worried about. What could that mean? I wonder, are little kids in danger? I know, Jen, yeah, that's his his motive du jour. He loves that. I know. Yeah, this is full on. And I mean, just a few hours ago, Zelensky's funding has been cut. This solar return chart, these charts are really giving us information. Yeah, children. We have entered into the reality TV show of wars now for everyone to watch in real time, and it's going to be fugly. I agree. Uh, I know, evilness to the max, and we're going to see that in Putin's birth chart. So just hold on. It's pretty amazing. So, yeah, so I want to ask there's something coming up where it is some pretty evil revenge. Um, Pluto is revenge. It's all out in the open. It means the government, and it it could mean something pretty bad. Now, keeping in mind, Libra is the courts, also in the solar return chart for Putin, that Pluto is in Capricorn as well, which could be government buildings. So something, it seems, could be getting destroyed, and innocent people could be part of this in the month of March. So, can you tell us any more information, Spirit, of what this kind of event could be in March? Maybe from Putin. Okay, so justice reversed, which kind of shows that an effort is not exactly gonna completely fly. Uh, let's see. I know it's wild and overwhelming. Uh, all right, can we? So it's going to be some attempt. Is this attempt that could potentially harm innocent people in March? Is this aimed at Zelenskyy and Ukraine? Five of Pentacles. Looks like yes, and there's some disappointment from that, thinking that you could move forward with an agreement, and it looks like kind of despair. Is there anything that is going to happen in the month of March from Putin outside of the Ukraine-Russia war, that territory? The Emperor. So possibly. And can you give us some kind of clarification card on what could possibly happen We're seeing Mercury squaring Pluto. That is a lot of groups of people. And in Libra, this could be musicians, it could be politicians, it could be some politicians are getting hurt in March. Yeah, could be King Charles with the Emperor card, China maybe. Um, but is this something that's going to happen outside of Russia? Or maybe I already asked that. What could this? Can you give us a clue on what this could possibly be? Mercury squaring Pluto, a Page of Pentacles. So maybe this could be a young person who is taking something, and it could be a bunch of young people. Mercury square Pluto is it's really small people though. I would I would think it would be more either Jupiter, Mars, something like that. But it looks like a young person is trying to create some type of harmful scenario. All right. So let me get back to this chart. And yeah, so this is the 2024 Putin solar return, which we use to look at Putin's predictions. We do it for all of the diplomats in politics to see, yeah, Rocket Man, exactly. And oh, by the way, I have this on members only. So if you're wondering why nobody else is coming in, it's because it's just members, just us. So, so let me move on to the next one. And all right, so I I mentioned this before. Remember I told you about how Putin has some other stuff going on? Well, it looks like his love life is going pretty well. I know nobody cares, but because of that Venus in Scorpio, this is this could be real estate money. This could also be, look at how, first of all, I'm looking at this right here. Mercury in Scorpio is like this sexy woman. And there's a big trine here. It's almost like his woman's coming back. Pluto's to return from the past. So something that is at least keeping him occupied and happy, maybe. Um, it's always good to know what their mindset is. But right there for a little while, it looks like, remember, Saturn is uh, materials. It can also be minerals. So he could actually be receiving some kind of minerals. He might be taking it, just he's able to. I don't know if there's an agreement necessarily attached to it, but look at Moon. I mean, doesn't this just scream revenge? That Moon in Scorpio. Oh my God. And that's between March 7th and April 7th that comes in. It also activated too back in October, November, around November 5th to December, yeah, through December, this whole thing. So I think that grand trine probably has to do with somebody from the West willing to work with him, which is that big triangle there. But what is happening now? Oh, one thing I wanted to show you. This is insanity. So March 7th to April 7th, there are 3 signs going through this month. This is gonna be the longest month that Putin has had in some time because there are ups and downs. In this part of the month, Venus activates. In that part of the month, Pluto activates. In this part of the month, Jupiter activates. So it's back and forth, back and forth. And so you're gonna see that in March. You're gonna see people talking and wanting to talk to you and being nice, and then bam, there's gonna be something really, it's gonna be a strike, I'll tell you that right now. There's going to be something ripped up here. I think it could be a contract. And why do I say that? Because Uranus is a revolutionary. Venus, this is a lot of contracts here, starting March 7th. And also, it was in October too, because Mercury was activating. But this is a ton of contracts that are constantly being written and then ripped up, written, ripped up, because you've got the blue and then you've got the red. So it makes your head spin. and everybody's confused. So then, let me just erase some of this so you can see. Then we get into the Scorpio period. Like if you have 3 signs in a house in your solar return, you better be ready because it's gonna be well, let's say not boring. So then Pluto activates right there. This is gonna be March. Let's see if you were to divide the month in almost thirds. So maybe close to like March 15th. Let's say March 15th. Uh, and then Pluto activates. Oh my God. And then it's squaring Mercury. Now, remember, Mercury is also a thief. So there is most definitely stealing involved. And I don't know who is stealing what. Well, you know it's stealing when there is a square. When there's a red line to Mercury, there is a thief in play or trying to be in play. And this could be, hmm, it's words of a contract. But it just blows up. So these contracts, and I think Zelenskyy is seeing this. He's seeing the contract because Black Moon Lilith is in there. This is evil. So he's like, "What the hell? I'm not going to sign that." So that's why it's kind of up, down, up, down, up, down. Then Pluto comes in, and that's when it's like nobody has patience anymore. It's bad with that square there. And then also, this is a not very successful part of the month because you have Pluto squaring part of fortune. So this is no success. And this is going to be between, give or take, March, mm, I don't know, 15th to maybe March 25th. And then once the end of March, beginning of April comes around, these are the last few days of March, the revolutionary strikes. Or Putin striking the revolutionary. I don't know, but Uranus here. There's the black-haired woman. This woman, by the way, she's very like Kardashian, very dark hair, could be very sexy, very beautiful. And so there's the revolutionary. And so the moon represents the second house and it represents Putin's third house. And this is money. He gets really busted up financially here. It's like, and it honestly, I wonder what it is. It's like a bomb or something, or it could just be a freeze on his accounts, or it could be something of value that is being struck of some sort, I guess. Okay, so yeah, Meg, you said Algol. Where's Algol? Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like Medusa strikes. This is like off with your head type of energy. And it's also very secret because Uranus is in the 12th house. It's impossible to see this, but it is a revenge strike like you have not seen. If there was like a stellium over here or over here, it'd be a lot worse probably. What it is, I'm not sure. But then we get into Jupiter here, which is Sagittarius, the Lord of Sagittarius. And let's see, did I highlight that? Yeah, there's the revolutionary right here. But then Jupiter activates again. And so it's more diplomacy, more m- butt kissing, more, come on, guys, let's really try to work. So it's going to be a real repeat of basically the past maybe 2 weeks where it's like, okay, we don't want you to strike. We don't want any of this going on. Let's try to work again one more time. It's Mercury in there, 18 degrees. That's the evil twins. It could be twin documents, twin efforts. And the first one just is a horrible failure. Okay. So this is Putin's birth chart. Oh, hey, Kay, nice to see you. And yeah, she keeps him. That's what we want, right? Thanks, Brenda. Yeah, maybe that's true with a page there, Page of Pentacles. Wealthy kids. I don't know. I know, Brenda. Thank you. Yes, thanks everybody. Now, yeah, they have U.S. giving minerals to Russia. Is that the deal? I don't know. It's all about minerals. And sometimes I wonder if it's diamonds, but I think it's more the lithium stuff. But it makes me think that Trump knows something a little bit more than the rest of us about what is in Ukraine. Maybe Putin told him. Yep. Kay, you said that's what I think. Trump is proxying for Putin in Ukraine and for Netanyahu in Gaza. They will split the profits. Yeah, they're profiteers. And yeah, White House is supposed to relieve sanctions on Russia. Okay. So, yeah, maybe that's coming up. Maybe it's like it's a strike and then it's coming back and the soothing comes in, but it's not forever. It's just this year. It goes till October. And so let's look at his birth chart real quick. Now, have you really looked at this birth chart? This is a little bit shocking. First of all, if you go to AstroSeek and you look at like the cover of it, right now the most popular birth chart to look at is Putin's birth chart. It's kind of crazy. All right, so right up at the top of Putin's birth chart is this evil Leo energy. And what does this mean when you have that evil? Why is it evil? Because you have Pluto in Leo, conjunct Black Moon Lilith, which is an extreme amount of evil because of Pluto. It's lots and lots. And the South Node. The South Node is, well, it can be despair, either incurring or experiencing despair or transferring. Really, Pluto is to transfer, and South Node is despair when it's in bad aspect, when you see those red lines. So despair is a lot of the energy in this birth chart. And so I was thinking to myself, why is there so much despair? Why does he have to make everyone so miserable? Why is he so miserable? And when Leo, as I always say, is in poor aspect, like the red lines, this usually means a bully. And so for him, that's what he's supposed to be in his career, keeping in mind that at the end of Leo is the king degree. So he is a bully king, a very strong guy. You're going to see his muscles, you're going to see him, maybe not so much now. But at certain times in his life, he's going to want to show strength and he's going to want to say the word strength. So, krepki. And so you can see it's at the top of this kite here. And so it makes his power just extreme. But at 22 degrees, this is a danger degree. So a very dangerous person. Now, I mentioned how Leo often in birth charts show a superhero. And with Black Moon Lilith in the middle here, he might be sort of the villain in the superhero movie. At least that's the role maybe he wants to play. Maybe he identifies with that villain role. All right. I couldn't help but notice that Saturn is conjunct Neptune. This is his father, and it is squaring the evil degree of Uranus. This is a strike. And now I am, this is just my opinion, but it seems as if this man was, as a boy, horribly abused. And it could have something to do with his father being a pedophile. There's every feeling that I have looking at this chart that his father could have really, really harmed him. And so maybe if you think about how Putin feels about anybody who's like same sex type of arrangements. I think he kills actual homosexuals. He is damaged based on what I see in this birth chart. And so what I thought I would do is I looked it up. I mean, I really don't know too much about his background, but there's actually a there's an article here. Hopefully you can see this. How Vladimir Putin's childhood is affecting us all. And it makes you so sad. I won't read all of it, but examine Vladimir Putin's childhood and you will see an eerie parallel to the atrocities playing out in Ukraine today. His life is a stark example of how childhood adversity is the root cause of most social, economic, and mental health issues, as well as violence and chronic disease, as the science of positive and adverse childhood experiences demonstrates. And while we can't change the Russian president, we can encourage and educate people not to create more Putins by recognizing how childhood adversity impacts us through our lives. Born in 1952, Leningrad, Putin was a street kid in a city devastated by a horrific 3-year siege by the Nazis during World War II, a genocide described as the world's most destructive siege of a city. Most of the population of 3 million people died, 1 million starving to death. Putin's father was badly injured in the war. His mother nearly died of starvation. Living in a rat infested apartment with 2 other families, the family had no hot water, no bathtub, broken down toilet, little or no heat. His father worked in a factory. His mother did odd jobs she could find. A small child whose 2 older siblings are believed to have been lost to war and disease. Putin was left to fend for himself, severely bullied by other children. Oh my God, there you go. There's the Leo. From his parents, he inherited their wartime trauma, personified by Nazi forces threatening their existence, ravaging their city, and killing their friends and family. With his parents struggling to survive, they were absent or too traumatized to be attentive to their son. There's no mention of other family members, no grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. Kindness and affection didn't seem to have been part of the child Putin's world. While the experiences of childhood adversity piled up, 2 positive experiences changed his trajectory. That's hard to believe. After years of being labeled a troublemaker in school, a 6th grade teacher helped him realize his potential. He excelled in high school, learned judo to defend himself, got a law degree, and was selected to join the KGB. But the damage that led to his current behavior was done. It produced a machismo man, distrustful and unpredictable, and who cultivates disinformation to advance his own agenda at any cost. So, yeah, it seems as if he had some horrible, horrible abuse, and Neptune contributed a lot, I think, in his code. So I hope that didn't bore you to death. I know he's something else. Yes, bully, overcompensating. Really, Shauna. You were thinking jewels because of the Venus squeezed into that mix on a solar return. Yeah, absolutely. And so many degrees in their sign in the previous chart. hmm So, yeah, it makes you a little bit more. I wouldn't say empathetic towards a dictator, but it certainly explains things and behavior. Uh, and with Pluto, keeping in mind, Pluto is to transfer, like I said. So he's transferring this trauma into something that makes him feel better. Maybe even abusing others, because keeping in mind with the Leo there, if you have these oppositions, and it could be in your solar return, it could be in your birth chart, you've got oppositions to Leo, and that means you could be the bully. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're being bullied. It could be back and forth. And some Leos feel like they're just saying the truth. They don't really feel like they are bullying. And so I know I've been accused of being a bully from my younger sister. And I often think, well, I was just trying to help. Um, I was just being honest. but that can come off as being a bully. And then, of course, when I was younger, when I grew up, I was definitely shouldn't say this, so I'm gonna edit this out, but I think everybody was bullied, usually it was like boys and stuff, boys at the bus stop or whatever. Oh, but then once and how could I forget? One of the reasons I wrote that book, The Secret Career Code, is because I was always bullied by a boss at work. They just they loved exerting their power. It's just in my birth chart, nothing you can do. All right. So I'm going to get to the next one. Now, this is Putin's solar return starting in October. So let's see what his year looks like. Certainly looks like there's a couple of good things, but we got to look at the chart ruler here, which is, oops, hang on one sec. We should probably pull a card before I even get to that. Okay. So I'm going to put these back. And it's kind of ironic how Putin had such a hard time as a bully, and now he's teamed up with a bully. It makes him feel strong. And, Trump's been bullied too, um, especially earlier on in his career, but then bullied by his adversaries as he tries to rise to the top. So it's been back and forth, and it's been awful. I mean, all these awful comments and the other thing, I don't know if you noticed, but right after the Oscars, a lot of the actors and actresses are being bullied, how everything is horrific and it's disgusting. All of these terrible bullying words are coming out describing people who attended the Oscars. Thank you, Toy. Yeah, I know. I might have, but I forgot about it. I have to say, it made me think about Bezos, and he runs Amazon, and there are documentaries about Putin for us to learn about. But will those go away now? Now that the Amazon founder is friends with Trump, will we know? Will we be able to see Putin's just terrible, most people would say, crime? I know possibilities are the worst, and you can see them in your career chart or your solar return chart, but also your career chart. So in my book, it shows you how to pull the job chart. So that's the day you started the job, and it can show you all the nuances and if you're going to be bullied. You always think of Melania, and yeah. So all right. So what I'm going to do is pull some cards here about Putin. Can you give us some kind of, probably don't want to talk about his dad, but I want to pull a card for his dad. Can you give us some kind of description about Putin's father? Um, I think they were talking about so much trauma that his parents had from the war, that they weren't emotionally available to Putin. Can you give us some kind of card that describes Putin's father? King of Cups. Hmm. And a clarifying card. So he probably was a bully if he was a king. And actually, you know what? I think he was in the Navy. So that makes sense with the water there. Can you give us a clarifying card for Putin's dad? Four of Pentacles reversed. So definitely some money issues. And with that Saturn squaring Uranus, I would almost wonder if Putin's dad was abused as well, because, it shows that he was also upset. So it's not a very, very nice topic, but trying to get into the psychology of it all. Okay. And then I guess I should ask one more question here. W- will Putin, by the end of March until April 7th, what will happen to Pluto, to Putin's strategy? Sun reversed, Doesn't look like it's very powerful. Can you give us a clarifier on Putin's strategy between today, March 3rd, and April 7th? Justice. Hmm. So maybe he's getting some kind of justice, but it's sort of weak. Um, Gosh, there are so many um, details about what's going on. They're all pointing their fingers with the gas or the pipeline being blown up back in 2001 and wanting to repair it. And really, there are a lot of people who truly believe that Putin can change and he'll stay and he'll stick to his word. But with all of that Libra, with the Black Moon Lilith in there, these are bad contracts. And so, not a really great time to go sign in contracts. Okay, we'll do that. So, let me add this, and then I'm going to add the chart. Okay, now this is next year's, but I'll go back. So the sun is in Leo starting next year. So, and when it is in a square, you better believe you're either going to be the bully or you're going to be bullied. I think it could be a little bit of both, but overall, it looks not so positive for him in from October 7th, 2025 to October 7th, 2026, because the chart ruler is in a T square. And we've got that vertex there in Capricorn. So this is the old way of doing things. This is rules and laws, and could be organizations. And this is the moon in Aries. This is a lot of anger. Ooh, he is mad. So seeing something like that with an adversary, it doesn't look like he's getting his way for the most part, but there is a trine to part of fortune, which shows that he and a partner are making some kind of agreement that is successful for Putin. And that being because seventh house, that's allies. And this is Aquarius. So this is flying, it's an airplane, it is Starlink, it's building some kind of a network of some sort. So, and you may have read that Trump has pulled back on espionage activities in and cyber, I don't know what they call it, cyber exercises or research. He's kind of paused that. So maybe they're focusing on other adversaries, but at least that's what they're saying. So we'll see how that turns out. It looks as if because of the second house, and this is right here, we're going to look at Mercury. Mercury in Scorpio. It still looks bad. His second house looks like it will continue to be bad for except there's going to be some exceptions with Venus in Virgo here. There are some blue lines, so he will be getting some type of financing, but he's really going to try to take real estate. He's going to fight for that real estate in this solar return year coming up. Um, you can also see, though, that there is a big grand trine here. When you see that in your solar return, can be very, very good. It's some kind of secret that's going on. Ugh. Um, let's see. Jupiter rules his fifth house. It's in Cancer, so it could be homes, could be. Let me think. Jupiter, fifth house. That's his family. It is also the 11th house of the allies. So this is some kind of goal that the allies have. So there could be some kind of success. It's going to be pretty famous because the Jupiter in Cancer. When you have Cancer, this is fame. When you have Jupiter in Cancer, that's very famous, very, very famous. And this is something it's like a foreign thing. So it's possible that he's gaining some kind of new real estate. North node, what you receive in your solar return year, look that up. Go to your solar return chart, see where the north node is. That's going to show you what you gain. And for him, it is going to be real estate, but it might, I mean, foreign real estate would be Ukraine. Um, so it seems as if he's clawing back some things. Yeah, and then the other thing too is Venus is opposing Saturn. So this is also money is stopped. But he's doing a workaround. Whoever this is in the background, it's a secret person, somebody secret. This could be a domestic person. Usually when you see Cancer, this is a domestic person. Maybe it's an ambassador, could be an ambassador, and they are doing something secretly. So they're like, okay, well, so you're going to cut my money off again. And then they go around and they have another option. So there's that. But yeah, Sean, I think you were talking about Pluto. There we go. And this is just it's extreme bullying. That's what that is. And he's just continuing to do that in his life. But also keep in mind that when you have something like this in a T square with Leo, it can show heart problems, it can show back problems, and it can show Parkinson's. So I am 100% in belief that he probably is suffering from Parkinson's. And that's a great weakness for this superhero villain. Saturn, yeah. I know. Yeah, just not behaving properly. I know. Jupiter and Cancer. Homeland on his mind, yes. Land grabbing and domination. Yeah, you're talking about probably Capricorn, the old way. Yeah, that's true. Just wanting to go back to like the 1990s when he was a young man. Toy said, I have the exact same in mind, was and is absent emotionally 100%. Jen, you said cups can represent alcohol or substances as well. Yes. Oh, that is true. And could be poisons, maybe. Yeah. I want to research it, what there could be found. Not that I have sympathy for him, want to understand the chart helps in the mind of Putin. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Parkinson's, yes, I believe he was having problems with his hands shaking. Zebra Girl, yeah. Definitely could be poison. Right. Parkinson, S-O-N, a Leo name. So I wonder if we could use astrology to help with Parkinson's somehow. Like you could look at this birth chart and you see the blue lines. You see how there could be help for this person. So you'd have to do a medical astrology review for that one. Toy said, we technically share the same birthday, at least for half the day, not the same timing or chart, but it still saddens me to have to share any of that in common. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I know quite a few people who have these types of real strong planets in Leo. And it is not only is it bullying, but it's mean. It is as mean as it gets because of that Black Moon Lilith. So much just sadness coming from it. Whenever somebody bullies you, you get very sad. Yeah, I think so too, Toy. That would be a fun and interesting chart for the medical. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all I have. And thank you so much for spending some time with me tonight. I just want to look at those and we'll see what happens next. It certainly looks like there's going to be something pretty shocking, it is a betrayal. It is some type of betrayal. Could it be a betrayal of Zelenskyy or Putin? I don't know. Could be both, but it is just shocking revenge. So thanks for hitting the like button. And if you'd like to join, you can just click the join button. Tomorrow I'll be on and I'll be doing some charts and cards for Princess Catherine. So I hope you can join me. Have a nice night.